Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at Z boosting, ability bonus, and understanding pretty much everything that you need to understand in terms of Legends, Z boosts, and Zenkai boosts. So basically, to cut a long story short, let's talk about Z boosting and Zenkai boosting, because we've got to understand the basics. Now, a Z boost in Legends and a Zenkai boost are stat increases that your characters will give each other. So if I have two characters that boost the same tag or same episode, they'll both receive that bonus from each other, boosting their stats. If you look at Zenkais will always have two requirements. So a unit may boost God Key, for example, but with a Zenkai, they will only boost, for example, Green and God Key. They won't boost, essentially everything all at once like their Z boost will. When it comes to leaders will benefit from everything at once. So leaders will benefit from, essentially, to cut a long story short, all the Z boosts, but they will not benefit solely from all of the Zenkais. Zenkais will only ever apply if a unit meets both requirements of the Zenkai. So a Zenkai boost only applies if a unit is both the type and the category, tag, or the series. When you look at team, all the stats are cumulative. So if you see a boost of 400%, that means that in total your team is receiving 400% of boosted stats. But one character might be receiving 220% of those, and another character might be receiving 78% of those. That's why sometimes you might find someone in a battle and see, oh, they have half the boost I have, but why is their unit hitting so hard? Well, they might be dedicating all 3000% to one unit. So that's something very important to understand and handle. Essentially, whenever you're building your team, the number one consensus is that you should have, at the very least, all of your units covered by your Z abilities. And then you can take a look at covering your units with Zenkai abilities as additional boosts on top of that. So let's talk about setting up your team. Well, it's very, very important when setting up your team to understand that the traditional method of setup in terms of teams and Legends is basically 3 supports 3. So you have 3 major units, and then you have 3 minor units who are just more there as straight up Z boosts or Zenkai boosts. When you take a look at any kind of unit in Legends, then the best method to kind of discuss how to boost them will be to have your top row consist of your major units, and your bottom row when building a team consisting of your supporting units. If you look at any of my teams, that's how I build them. The top row of units usually has the highest number of links or boosts applying to them. That little number next to the portrait shows how many boosts are applying to a singular unit. You will see in all my teams, most of my units will arrange in having anywhere from 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to 10. Don't be concerned if your leader does not have a lot of boosts on them. Your leader will receive all Z boosts, so by default will always be at 6. Ideally, the only thing you want to focus for your leader is any potential Zenkai boosts. So making sure that he's getting maybe 1 Zenkai boost. When building your team, ideally, especially if you're going for a 3-color team, you want to split it so that you have 1 Zenkai boost per typing that you have. The best way to set up your team, though, is to have tag characters who can benefit from multi-typal boosts. This is something we'll cover under a bit more in the advanced section. There's also some more considerations like Legends limited powers, which we'll cover into the advanced section. But for now, just run under the consensus that if my top 3 characters have at the very least 6 in terms of Z boost, apart from my leader, then I'm pretty good. I at least have my team boosting itself. Obviously, factoring in a Zenkai, if a unit has a Zenkai applying to them, they should have 7. If they've got 2 Zenkais applying to them, they should have 8. So, there will be a way to kind of tell how many boosts are applying to that character. As a general consensus, try to aim for 6 or 7 on your top row line of characters. Secondly to that as well, whenever putting characters in your team, always assess some more nuanced aspects of them to greater benefit from them when talking and designing and kind of putting your team together. You might want to choose between, for example, a strike / unit, or you might want to choose between a character that gives you different stats. So this is where we want to look at some more advanced things. So firstly, let's discuss stats. So just having big boosts isn't the full story. You might see players who have 5,000% boosts, and yes, generally their team is functioning with a lot of stats, but some stats are more important than others. For example, health boosts. Health, crit, damage inflicted buffs. You'll see often characters might have something like 3% up on damage inflicted. These matter a lot more than just a straight Zenkai boost, especially if it's a low Zenkai boost. Zenkai boosts are great ways to inflate your stats. They're great ways to inflate your numbers, but they only hit the 4 key basic stats. Things like HP, things like crit, things like damage inflicted are more important. You might find someone running 2 20% health boost units. You're going to have a hard time beating them in PvP. It's just a straight up fact. Like, you're going to have a very hard time because they have so much extra health. They are probably going to outlast you more than anything because health in PvP is sacred. Another thing to consider is just your character's straight up kit. It's great that you can run a full purple team that are all fully Zenkai'd, boosting each other amazingly. However, as you'll see here, when I put a whole bunch of purple units into the team, there may be older units, they may lack synergy, they may struggle. It's not something that just immediately makes you good. Just because your team has a high boost and they have 18,000 Zenkais running around doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to function at a high level. One of them might be, because he may be hitting all of the requirements, but chances are you're probably going to find that just running units for the sake of the boost in raw stats isn't going to work out long term. You don't have viability, you don't have flexibility, and this is a problem that you have to counter when you're playing PvP. Another thing is multi-Zenkai boosting. So especially with tag characters, they can hit a lot of briefs. One of the reasons why Goku Frieza is such a popular character is because you can give them both purple and blue boosts, especially when they are 2 different typings. This gives them multi-Zenkai boosts, which means if you run a team like I do, where you have LF Android 17, LF UI Goku, and LF Goku Frieza, or you run, for example, Purple Vegeta, you can hit so many cross Zenkai boosts that your team can go a bit nutty. Finally, let's talk about the final aspect of Z boosting. When Z boosting, you need to also consider Legends Limited Boost and Ultra Resonance. Legends Limited Boost is a boost that will occur whenever you select Legends Limited characters for your 3-party team. Every time you select a Legends Limited character, you'll see that the stats of your team and your Z boost will go up slightly. This is because Legends Limited characters have Legends Boost. This is to help them kind of add a little bit more stats in terms of raw input. It's not a huge amount though. A lot of players can say, oh, you need Legends Limited for the stats. A good sparking, and I mean like a really good sparking, will outweigh the slight stat increase you'll gain from a single Legends Limited. Yes, it will add up, but there's no big difference between 2 Legends Limiteds and an Ultra, or 2 Legends Limiteds and a Sparking, or 1 Legends Limited and 2 Sparkings, compared to 3 Legends Limiteds. There's a slight boost, but it's not massive. Ultras are different. Ultras receive Ultra Resonance depending on their position. If you're going to place an Ultra as your lead, they'll get a flat damage inflicted boost, which is very impactful. If you're going to put them in the party but not as your lead, then you have to make sure that you build the party around maximizing their Ultra Resonance that remains. Because if you don't maximize that Ultra Resonance, they're not going to hit as hard as you'd like them to. So it's a very, very important situation to consider. But that's it from me. Bye.